This is part 5 of the chapter Heredity and Evolution for standard 10th. So what is the meaning of artificial selection? So artificial selection means man has created such a thing that he can select by the features or the genes he wants from different animals into one animal. Now that means he breeds selectively and modifies the species. Now animals and plants both have the desirable traits, whatever we want, whichever characteristics we want, and that is with a specific purpose. So we can say this evolution. So this is the evolution of cauliflower. If you can say it is for the sterility of flower, wild mustard, then kohlrabi enhancement of lateral meristems, then kale, it is the enlargement of leaves. Now each of one has a different purpose, so it has been artificially bred and made into new species. Then cabbage, suppression of intermode length, and broccoli, suppression of flower development. So all these are just generated from the wild mustard. Similarly, if you can see, there are many breeds of dogs in the world. So you can just say this is the grey wolf, for example, the common ancestor. From this, if you see in Europe, there are 3 different breeds. North America 2 different, China different, India different. Then from this again interbreeding has been done, and still you are finding a wide variety. Now all this is just due to artificial breeding by man. So whatever desired characteristics he wants, strength, beauty, usefulness, all of these things will ultimately result in him doing whatever he wants. So this is called as artificial selection. Now evolution by stages. Now some organs, complex organs, they are developed or they have been evolved very slowly among the ages depending on their usage. So for example, they might have been given for a different purpose, but due to evolution and adaptation, the features may have changed, the usage may have changed. For example, feathers were originally supposed to be giving warmth to the birds, but then what happened? It has been adapted for flight. So like this cabbage plant, we have just seen broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, they are all based from the same thing, but depending on what they want, it has been modified. So then comes a term called adaptation. So as we have learned, adaptation of living organisms means the practicality or the comfortability of an organism to live in the given conditions. So there are few terms in this. What is molecular phylogeny? Molecular phylogeny means organisms which are distinctly related will have a great number of differences in their DNA. So those is called as molecular phylogeny. Now it is commonly said that humans have evolved from chimpanzees on that. So it is a very slow process. Only thing is they have not evolved direct from chimpanzees, but they both have a common ancestor. So evolution is carried out by adaptation, environmental selection, and such things. So this is what is called as so we can see here. Then we will go to human evolution. So how has human evolved? So the present this thing is Homo sapiens, but it is said that humans, they have evolved in Africa, and slowly many studies have been done to find out how humans spread throughout the world. So they migrated, they walked, they settled down, they were hunters and gatherers. They went to different climates, different regions, developed different habits, developed different features, developed different skin color, faces. Some faces are Negro, some are Mongoloid, all these things. So this is diversified and evolved through thousands of years. So this is what is said there. So slowly from Africa they evolved and they spread out to West Asia, Central Asia, Eurasia, South Asia, Indonesia, Philippines, Australia and America. So they went there in groups. So this is how humans have spread. So it is said that they have evolved in Africa, and just see this, you can see how they have gone to different parts of the world. Of course it took a long time and many generations to reach there, and remember there were no modes of transport, they just walked and walked and walked. So this is how they have reached different, and when they settled there, due to the local climatic conditions, the food availability, the physical characteristics, the working, the sunlight, the coldness, everything decided the future features of that humans. So if you can see here, but slowly as a whole humans have evolved. The first thing which we see is the erect posture. Erect posture means to stand and walk upright. Second is the bipedal motion. Now we know almost all the animals have motion based on 4 feet, 4 limbs, but humans are, and some gorillas, they are the only thing to walk on 2 feet and use the 2 feet as hands. So this bipedal motion is there, it is an evolutionary change. Next is the increase in brain size and its complexity. It is told that humans have the brightest brains, or the most intelligent brains. That is why humans have evolved, they have developed, they have done anything. And then articulation of speech for better interaction and communication. Everything in world is now controlled by humans. They have learnt languages, they have developed languages, they have developed text, they have developed technology, science, everything. So now they are controlling the whole of the world. So if you see, this is how man has slowly developed. So this is supposed to be the common ancestor. See, just it is having walking on 2 feet, then comes slowly bipedal motion. Then these are the different stages where humans have slowly the human erecticus. Now if you see, this is the first where humans are erect posture, then Homo sapiens and Neanderthal man and the modern Homo sapiens. So this is the modern man which we are seeing. So this is how it has developed. Then so there are few terms in this chapter. So what is the dominant gene and the recessive gene? Dominant gene is the gene which shows itself, which expresses itself in the appearance of an organism. For example, Mendel's experiment, tallness. Now there were 2 tallness, one is tallness and one is dwarfness. The tallness, because it was dominant, it is shown as T. So dominant genes are symbolized as, or they are shown as T, capital letters, and it is this which is expressed in the offsprings. Now it can be expressed in both homogeneous and heterogeneous conditions. Means what? For the plants to be tall, it can be TT, TT or TT. In all of these conditions, even if one dominant species is there, one dominant gene is there, it will be tall. Then what are recessive genes? Recessive genes are the genes we cannot express it. So they are weak, they are not at all dominant. So they can be expressed so only in homogeneous condition, means only when there are 2 T's you will find it is a dwarf plant. It is a dwarf plant. Otherwise everywhere you will see, even if one capital T is there, it will show tallness. So this is the meaning of recessive genes. Then what is the meaning of genotype? So genotype means the genetic constitution of an organism. Means, for example, is it having capital T's to one capital small t or both TT. So that is called the genotype. And phenotype is the actual expression of genes, whether it is having tallness, darkness, wrinkles, round seeds and all this. Then there are 2 more terms, homozygous. Homozygous means both the genes will be of the same nature, either both capital or both dominant. Heterozygous means it is one is capital, one is, so one is dominant and one is recessive. So when both come together, it is a heterogeneous combination. So this is all about the chapter.